This is Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox.
I know a lot of our listeners, you've been thinking about retirement probably for months, even years, and you've been meaning to sit down, review those investments, create that income strategy, update your beneficiaries, and really understand how Social Security fits into the entire puzzle. The problem is every lap we go through that retirement roundabout could cost you valuable time. So the last thing you want to do, folks, is leave your retirement to chance. That's why Jim Fox and his team at Wadadley Financial Group, they're here to help. They're standing by to get you on his calendar, again, with no cost and no obligation. That number, again, folks, is 321-414-7526, 321-414-PLAN. That's also the number if you'd like to attend his upcoming workshops, August 26th and 27th at River Rocks. It's at 6 p.m., and we are holding spots right there at the front of the line for our radio listeners. Again, 321-414-7526, 321-414-PLAN. So, Jim, I know we've talked about the great wealth transfer in previous shows, and obviously we know there are trillions and trillions of dollars that boomers have saved that'll eventually get inherited by their heirs. Now, this year, the first boomers are set to turn 80, and an article I saw on Newsweek said that the great wealth transfer, well, it may never come. They believe cost of living, healthcare, and people living longer is going to actually end up eating up a lot of that wealth. The other enemy, of course, is taxes, that dreaded T word. So, Jim, if this is a big concern, how do you help address these types of things now to avoid a surprise later?
Yeah, awesome job, Kevin. Throw me literally the question that takes 2 hours to answer and say you've got 6.5 minutes to answer that question.
I'll give you
Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why I don't like my co-host sometimes. So it's very important you guys understand that, because that was rough, man. I just want to be very clear, okay? So how do we address this? Really simple. We got a plan for it. But in all seriousness, I mean, this is the challenge, right? Everyone says, Jim, how do you pick your investments? Well, I kind of don't.
Right.
Can you believe I just said that out loud? I kind of don't. Lord help us. We need way smarter people than me picking the investments. This is what Market Guard is for, right? They go out and they say, these are great. These are great. Ooh, those aren't great. I don't have time for that stuff. My job is to understand your goals and make sure that we pick the investments that match your risk tolerance and your goals, right? That's what I do. And then they figure out, my job is to make you use your money efficiently. That's what I want to do. How do we pay the least amount of taxes? How do we get the best possible growth with the least amount of volatility, right? How do we generate a steady income that, regardless of the markets are going up or down? How do we take care of you if you get sick and you need someone to come into your home and take care of you, a couple of days a week? How do we protect your assets from maybe nursing homes if you get sick and end up in a nursing home facility? And last but not least, how do we make sure that when you finally do pass away, that the money that you did spend an entire lifetime saving, how do we get that money to your beneficiaries and your family in the most tax efficient way? Right? That's what I do. That's what I do. And taxes are almost at the core of every bullet point I just mentioned. How do we do it? Really simple. Really simple. We have to spend a ton of money on software that will allow us to dissect the tax code, because it is not simple. It is not something you do, on a Google search or with AI.
Right.
You need to make sense of it, because some years you may convert some money. Next years you have to convert less because you're living on more. You have to worry about things like IRMA, IRMAA, right? For Medicare. All these things come into play. And our plan is what allows us to make sense of this. One of my favorite conversations I have with people is when I sit down and we can identify a tax savings. And I'll just give you a really quick example. We had a couple that came in and they needed $17,000. This was last December. They needed $17,000 to come out of their account because they were going to be doing a trip the first quarter of the next year. So they needed $17,000. Well, I identified if they pulled the $17,000 out right then, they were going to pay about $3,000 in taxes. So that means that they have a net of what? $14,000, right?
Right.
I noticed in the tax code that if they pulled out $14,000, they would pay no taxes. Think about what I just said, Kevin.
Yeah.
If they take out 17, they're going to pay $3,000 in taxes because they moved over the tax bracket line, right? Mm-hmm. But if they pull out 14, they pay no taxes. Which one do you want to pick?
Well, let me just think here.
Right?
Probably, yeah.
But here, you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
The client goes, but I need 17. Yeah. Well, you're not getting 17.
Right.
Because they're going to take 3,000. So if you want 17, we may have to take out, 19 and a half to get 17. And it finally dawned on her, she goes, wait, you're telling me I can get 14 without paying any tax? I'm like, yes, great. So we put the money, basically, pull the $14,000 out. Mm. She paid no taxes on it. She still has $3,000 sitting in her account working for her. That is tax planning. Now, I sit down with people sometimes, and it's funny because the people with a little bit of money, I'll go, hey, look, Kevin, looks like by doing this, we're going to save you about $910 in taxes by doing it this way. And you go, it's only $900, man. Why does that matter? And then I got people with millions and millions of dollars, and I save them $83, and they go, dude, that's amazing, right?
Right.
My job is to make sense of the tax code. My job is to find you tax savings where we can. My job is sometimes to pay more taxes early on so we pay taxes later on, i.e. the Roth conversions. Sometimes before you're 63, I might do heavier conversions because once you turn 63, your Medicare costs will be more expensive when you're 65. That's called IRMA. Sometimes because you retired early but you're not at age 65, I've got to worry about the Affordable Care Act and how we're going to qualify for that. These are all tax questions, and nobody ever discusses it. Taxes are the most important thing. And when you come into our office, at first you're going to be glazed over. I can't believe I understand, or I don't never understand this stuff is my most common statement. And by the third year that we're working together, you're like, do I have to come in and meet with you? Or can you just, send me a picture of what my tax map looks like and I'll understand it, right?
Right.
Because it's clear cut once you understand it. That's what we do. That's our differentiator. That's what sets us apart, is that we focus on efficiency and we try and find the best way for you to access the money that you busted your butt saving. That's what it's all about. And if you want to feel that difference, if you want to see what it's like working with a firm that focuses on this kind of stuff, pick up the phone and give us a call. Kevin, I'm going to let you give out the number, wrap up the show. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here for you. Take advantage of the invite to the August 26th and 27th workshop. It's going to be fantastic. If that doesn't work for you, give us a shout anyway, because we have another one probably the second week of September. We'd love to have you there. Our radio show listeners, they get first dibs. Like I said, we'll make sure that you get to come to that. It's going to be unbelievable. You're going to love it. But more importantly, you're going to learn something when you walk out that door, and it's going to be unbelievable.
Again, folks, those workshops, August 26th and 27th at River Rock, 6 p.m. Like Jim mentioned, if those dates don't work for you, stick around. We will have more coming up in the month of September. And again, we are holding spots for you, our loyal Financial Straight Talk listeners. And if you'd like to get on the list today with no cost and no obligation, it all starts with one phone call to the team at Wadadley Financial Group, 321-414-7526. That's 321-414-PLAN, online anytime at getfst.com. You know what that stands for? Financial Straight Talk. It's what you get here on the show. It's what you're going to get at River Rocks on the 26th and 27th. Getfst.com, or better yet, 321-414-7526. So, Jim, I do it to you every week, man. I get your blood pressure all fired up.
Every time.
Now we'll do a couple of deep breaths, and I'm going to just once again leave the floor all yours, my friend, for the final word.
This is what I deal with, and we actually pay the guy to do this to me. Think about that. But ladies and gentlemen, every week we say the same thing. We know that you have tons of options when it comes to getting financial information, and we're just honored to be one of those resources. So like Kevin said, if there's anything we can do, pick up the phone, give us a call. We're standing by to help. But with all that being said, on behalf of myself and Mr. Kevin Mack, I want to thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Financial Straight Talk.
Thanks for listening to Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox. To learn more, visit getfst.com.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Wadadley Financial Group. Wadadley Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Wadadley Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Wadadley Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any government agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Wadadley Financial Group.